Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive.
From AI-inspired insights from farmers.
If you're enjoying what we're doing here, we'd love to hear from you too.
Absolutely.
Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and definitely leave a comment telling us what you want to see more of on this deep dive.
We're always looking for new ideas, and we really value your feedback.
So what farm-related mysteries are you dying to uncover?
Right.
What questions are keeping you up at night? Let us know, and maybe we'll tackle them in a future deep dive. Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into sustainable agriculture. This is for you, whether you're maybe new to farming, thinking about starting, or, just really curious about it all. Our goal here is to, cut through some of the noise and give you some solid insights on where farming is headed.
Yeah, and the sources we looked at, they provide a pretty compelling roadmap, I think. It's about building agricultural systems that aren't just competitive, they need to be resilient. And of course, environmentally sustainable. It's moving past just getting by towards actually, thriving.
Thriving, I like that. Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. We hear organic all the time, right? But our sources point to ideas maybe going even further, really healing the land. What's going on there?
Well, it's really about regenerative agriculture. Organic farming is definitely crucial, don't get me wrong. But regenerative practices, they aim higher to truly heal the soil. You see this in some of the post-war recovery plans for places like Ukraine, for example. They're focusing on these methods to improve soil health, cut down on chemical use. And interestingly, they're also looking at developing carbon credit programs. So actually incentivizing farmers financially for doing this.
So paying farmers to capture carbon in the soil.
Exactly. It's a huge shift from, let's say, some industrial farming approaches that can sometimes treat soil almost like a dead substrate, just something to hold the plants up. The goal here is completely different. It's cultivating living topsoil, a soil that's alive, holds water well, supports microbes, insects, the whole ecosystem.
That concept, living topsoil versus dead substrate, that really paints a picture. Okay, so from healing soil, let's talk about another critical piece. Water. What are the sources saying about water challenges and maybe some solutions?
Water is absolutely critical, and managing it is a huge challenge. I mean, we saw terrible consequences, like when the Kakhovka Dam in Ukraine was destroyed. It wiped out irrigation for a vast area. So a key recovery strategy mentioned is rebuilding, yes, but also modernizing irrigation and drainage systems. It's not just about putting back what was there. It's about making these systems way more efficient with water and also preventing things like soil salinity or degradation. Proactive water management is just essential going forward.
Makes sense. Modernizing, not just rebuilding. Okay, here's something I find really interesting. The idea of getting great returns with fewer inputs. How does that work? How can farmers actually thrive doing that?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Diversification seems to be a really powerful strategy here based on our sources. It means not putting all your eggs in one basket. So combining different crops on the same land, maybe, or adding other ways to make money, maybe on separate plots, or even off-farm activities.
Can you give an example?
Sure. There were studies looking at cocoa farmers, I believe in Côte d'Ivoire. They found that when farmers mixed cocoa with other crops, intercropping, or added other income streams, their household income went up significantly. And often, their cocoa yields actually improved too, probably because of better soil health from the mix of plants. We also saw incredible resilience with vanilla farmers in Madagascar. They faced multiple crises hitting at once, disease, cyclones, price drops, you name it, their main coping strategy. Diversifying into other crops, especially fast-growing food crops they could eat or sell quickly.
Wow, so that diversification wasn't just about income, it was about survival, really. Resilience in action.
Absolutely. And, this connects to a concept some sources mention, sometimes called peasant agriculture. It basically refers to more traditional, often smaller-scale farming that focuses on local markets, maybe self-consumption. It tends to rely more on the farm's own resources, labor, natural nutrients. It demonstrates a sustainable, lower-input kind of model, working with the environment.
Right, working with nature.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's connect the dots. What does all this mean for the farmer's bottom line? How do these sustainable practices actually link up with financial security?
That's crucial because farming is inherently risky, right? Market prices swing, weather is unpredictable, there are economic pressures. So financial tools become really important. Agricultural insurance is a big one for providing stability. And there's some neat innovations happening there, things like using remote sensing, satellite data, even digital apps on smartphones. There's something called picture-based insurance, PBI.
Picture-based insurance.
Yeah.
How does it work?
Yeah, it sounds futuristic, but it's becoming real. Basically, farmers can use photos from their phones to help verify losses quickly, which speeds up claim payments. It makes insurance more accessible, cheaper too. And these tools can help reach farmers who've maybe been underserved before, like women farmers. It's about leveraging tech. But beyond insurance, just solid financial planning is vital. Using market forecasting tools, if available. And budgeting, definitely budgeting with a buffer, like maybe aiming for a 10% reserve of your annual budget just for those unexpected hits.
That 10% buffer sounds like practical advice for any business, really.
Yeah.
Okay, let's wrap up with this. For someone listening, maybe thinking about getting into this space, what's one exclusive insight, a key takeaway on how to transition towards these sustainable practices without, turning everything upside down overnight?
I think the main lesson from the sources is that it doesn't have to be this massive, sudden shift. You can start small, integrate things gradually, focus on those diversification strategies we talked about. Maybe start by intercropping just one field. Plant something beneficial, like a cover crop, between the rows of your main crop. Or add a small patch of a fast growing crop alongside what you already do. Or even explore ways to use your farming skills to generate some off farm income. It's about taking these smaller, strategic steps. They build resilience, they build financial security, but they don't require you to disrupt everything immediately. You can transition more smoothly.
That's great advice.
Mhm.
Start small, integrate gradually. So this deep dive really highlights that sustainable farming isn't just some lofty ideal. It seems like a practical, resilient, and actually financially smart way to farm for the future.
Exactly. And I just encourage you, the listener, to think about what really stood out for you today. How might these insights shape your approach, making farming not just productive, but truly resilient, and maybe even a force for positive change? We hope this exploration has been valuable. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.
Hitting that like button and smash that subscribe.